Well, hello and good evening. So I want to talk to you about something awesome that's been going on in my life that happened today. My best friend of 20 plus years was diagnosed with cancer. For some of you that don't know, I have been having a secret group go on for the last month or so for her as making intentional impact in her life, because we need people in our lives to love on us when circumstances have gotten us down and it's overwhelming, and things like that. So I set up on September 26th, actually, a private secret group in honor of her, and to raise funds specifically because she was diagnosed with breast cancer, to raise funds to love on her and to help support her for medical costs, because medical costs are expensive. And when you're dealing with something as big as cancer or any other major illness, it's overwhelming, to be quite honest. I can't imagine. So I put up this thing. When she first told me that she had cancer, I'm like, well, we're both hairstylists. I'm like, okay, well, if you go bald, I'm going bald. And she's like, no, you're not. And I'm like, yeah, I am. And so I talked with my husband, and he's like, well, I wouldn't expect anything else from you. And so I began to talk to God about it and pray about it. And he put it on my heart to do this group, this secret group, and raise money for her. Because between chemo and shots and things and potential radiation at that time, we weren't sure exactly what she financially needed, and how do we help and make an intentional impact in somebody's life when we feel helpless sometimes. And I knew God's plan was bigger than that, and I know God can provide. He is the one that holds all things near and dear to us. And so he just said, go ahead, and we made a group, and it was Bald for Best. So if you were invited to that group, there's like 300 something people in there. Not everybody saw it, not everybody posted, not everybody donated, and I'm okay with that. But those that did, we raised $2,560 for her. And I wasn't sure what God's timeline was with this. I knew what I wanted to do with that. I knew what my heart was. I knew what my intention was, to love on her and to bless her. And I didn't know how she would take it. I thought she would be upset. I didn't know. The enemy was really like messing with my mind. There was a lot of spiritual warfare over the last month. But, that's okay. That's part of life, and God walks us through it. And so his timeline is always perfect in our lives. So whether you have something on your timeline and it's not going your way, it's okay. God's got it under control, and he has got your timeline all figured out for you. So you don't even have to worry about it. So what we did, well, I waited, and God presented today. So I was able to go over and visit with her for a little bit and love on her and present her this box that God had found for me. It said love, and it holds all the financial donations in there for her. And again, I had a list of everybody that donated, what they donated, and the date. So there was like a physical timeline that we could see that was awesome of how God worked in this miraculous way over the last month or so. For this timeline. And before I even gave it to her, we were talking about costs of radiation, deductibles and things, and it meets that deductible, and all that glory and honor goes to God, because only he can do that, right? That's all his provision, all his love. And so then I was like, okay, you gotta shave my head. And she's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not. She was not gonna do it. And I'm like, oh, well, shoot, because if you don't, I am. And it took some convincing and some love and a good conversation explanation of where my heart was and where it was coming from, and essentially like fasting from having hair. And so I've had this hat. I'm in my buttons because it's Bald for Best, and her fight is my fight, and it's girl power because we're rocking this bald thing together. And so she did do it. And so if you haven't seen that video, I couldn't stop laughing. I was so giddy the whole time. It was hilarious. So if you haven't seen that video, you have to go watch it. I'll post it in the comments as well. it was fun, and we're just gonna rock this ball thing together. So if you haven't seen it, and I came home and I fine-tuned it a little bit, but this is now my hairstyle, and it feels really weird, and the girls love to touch it, and I have a ton of gray hair. Like, I got a lot of silver up in there, but that's all right, and we're in it together, we're all together, and it's so funny because God's humor is hilarious, because just this morning I posted a bunch of before and after pics of this new product that our company came out with, this shampoo line, and it's amazing and fabulous, and I had all these before and after pictures, and then I go and shave off all my hair. So God's hilarious. Laugh with him in the humorous moments of life, because he's awesome that way. And so I just wanted to publicly thank every single person that has prayed for Bessie, that has loved on her. You're gonna get me all emotional, you know I like to go there. That has donated in her honor. We're not done. This is an open platform now. It's no longer a secret. We're still very much raising funds for her medical treatment. So hit me up on Messenger, and if you want to give, I will give you links to give to her. Share this out if you feel led to. And then I'm going to possibly open up that group also, and you can kind of see our timeline and how God walked with us. And so it's been an amazing journey, and I just thank each and every one of you for praying and for being with us and encouraging us along the way, and for giving to Bess. So thank you. Love you all.